Hi everyone, we're going to present our final project for the business math course. We are Karina Gomez, Jimena Rivera, and Paulina Huerta. So about this project, purchase made on credit of an object from 3 different department stores will be compared in order to evaluate which is the best alternative. So the product that we chose to analyze is an LG French door refrigerator. It is 22 feet cubed. Thanks to its technology, it saves 32% of energy. It has a water dispenser, a multi-airflow system, and white LED lights. So this product, we will compare it in 3 different department stores, firstly in Coppel, then in Sears, and then in View.
So now we will define this problem. So purchasing on credit is a term that is used when someone purchases something at the moment and agrees to pay it in the future. So this payment can be done in periodic payments in which the amount and dates will be stipulated by the seller. When purchasing on credit, there are some aspects that need to be taken into consideration, such as the cash price, the interest rate that will be charged, also the periodic payments that will be done, and finally, the total amount that will be paid at the end of the period. So this is really important to know because by this way, people can notice if the credit purchase that they are going to do is convenient or not. And also with this calculation, it will be very useful to compare it with other stores where the product can be found as well in order to see the best option. So now this is the exercise that we did in this project. And as Karina said, we used a refrigerator. And the first store that we will be talking about is Coppel. So here they offered the refrigerator at a cash price of 20,999 Mexican pesos and a credit plan of 24 fortnights at payments of 1,121 Mexican pesos as well. So now to get the final amount that we are going to calculate, and in this way we can compare it with others, we first need to get the interest rate from this. And what we did here is to use the cash price, which is the principal, the 20,999. Then we use the monthly payments of 1,121 pesos. And we used the periods, which are 24, which is from 1 year, but they are done fortnightly. And finally, we got this interest rate, but this one is effective fortnightly. So we need to change it to an annual rate compounded fortnightly. So what we did here is to multiply the 2.0853% times 24, which are the total periods, to finally get this interest rate, which is 50.0477%. So now that we have this interest rate, we can use it to get the total amount calculation. And in here, the thing that we did is to consider the 1,121 monthly payments, not fortnightly payments. And then we have here the 24 periods. We consider the interest rate that the second one we got, which is now annual rate compounded fortnightly. We divide it here by the total periods, and the amount we got is this one, 34,460.2072. So this will be the total amount that will be paid at the end of the year in 24 payments, if we decide to take the credit option. So now, another topic that we can include here in this example is the amortization table, and this will be very useful, as this way we can see all the payments in a clear way and explain better.
The second place evaluated was Sears. It offered the refrigerator at a cash price of 20,999 Mexican pesos, or with a credit plan of 6 bi-monthly payments, or of 4,154 within a year. The final amount to be paid at the end of the period was calculated first by determining the annual interest rate. This was done with the following formula. The principal used was the cash value of the refrigerator of 20,999 represented by C, then the bi-monthly payments of 4,154 represented by R, the number of periods the interest rate would be invested in represented by N, equal to 6 for the bi-monthly periods within the year, the frequency of the periods represented by P equal to 6, since Sears offered it at a 6 bi-monthly payments per year, and I as the interest rate, which after the formula was applied show a 5.127% bi-monthly compound interest rate. Furthermore, to have the annual rate, the same 5.127% was multiplied times 6 for the 6 bi-monthly periods and showed a 30.76% annual interest rate. Then, to get the final amount, the following formula was used using the same variables when calculating the interest rate in the first step, but this time the missing variable was the amount. The final amount to be paid at the end of the 6 years at the year, with the 6 bi-monthly payments of 4,154 with a 30.7525% bi-monthly compounded interest rate, was a total of 28,345.6549. And finally, an amortization table was used to analyze with further detail the interest payable each period of time, the missing amount at the end of each period, and the final balance for each month.
And the final store we use to compare it is View Tienes Que Ver, which is an online department store originally from Guadalajara. And they sell this refrigerator at a cash price of $20,999 or a credit plan of 52 weekly payments of $477.94. So in order to get the final amount, firstly, we calculated the interest using the principal of $20,999, the payments of $477.94, and which is the time, 52, so 52 payments, and compounded weekly, which got a 0.6561% effective weekly interest rate. And we multiplied that times 52, which is the compounding frequency to get the annual interest rate, which was 34.1197%. And now that we have that interest rate, we can use that to calculate the final amount, which we use the payments of 477.94, the 52 payments, the new interest rate, which is compounded weekly, to get the final amount, which is 29,504.9368, which will be the amount that we will pay at the end of the year. And here we have an amortization table to better visualize the total interest that we pay each period and how much we owe at the end of that period.
In conclusion, the best option was Sears because it showed a lower amount at the end of the year. And finally, the financial mathematical tools used to analyze the previous problem were necessary because they optimize results. Compound interest was used because the credit plans were set with an interest rate that could be reinvested in a certain period of time and provided a higher amount each period. Ordinary annuities were needed because the companies offer a determined frequent payments paid at the end of each period with a certain compound interest rate. And finally, amortization tables were useful to get the exact final balance for each period to be paid, the interest charged each period, and to have a more detailed record of payments. Thank you very much.